From LALATE headquarters in Santa Monica, this is Afternoons LALATE.
It's a big afternoon as the financial cliff has now hit the U.S. economy as predicted on this channel for several months. The month of September brought upon that financial cliff as I had predicted earlier this year, and that means a stimulus stampede is underway. Stimulus stampede, in which millions of Americans are looking for stimulus checks to battle recession, battle inflation, and battle the economic downturns of everything that's going on. And this economy is not going to get any better. In today's recording, we go over these incredible checks that I have for you. 300 checks that average about $300,000. And yes, I got new checks for you today as well. They're federal stimulus from the federal government, and you need them in view of what's happening. The latest details across the board is the following. Number one, the Federal Reserve indicated in their FOMC meeting on September 21 that their target rate of inflation of 2% will not be reached this year, not be reached next year. In fact, will not be reached until 2024, they said. That meant that they said, well, they're going to raise interest rates every month until they get that reach of 2% achieved in 2024. This is higher than the Wall Street analysts had thought. They thought they were done in the month of September. I said they would not be done until next year. In fact, they're not going to be now done until 2024. That is bringing the following events underway. The housing market crash underway. The stock market crash underway. The crypto market crash underway. And everything you see right today is actually going to get worse. We have the two-year note surging dramatically from 3.7 middle of early last week, to now certainly over 4%. I'm projecting that to head to 5%. I'm also projecting the yield curve inversion curve to get worse. Also, the bond rate, also the mortgage rate. Meantime, everything that impacts your wallet is going to get worse as inflation is going to go higher. But with that, we also have great news. Your benefits are going higher. We'll have the massive raise of your benefits checks as well in this recording. A lot of major news. It's all being detailed, and especially those incredible checks for you to get. And I got them. From the shores of Santa Monica, California, let's get to the breaking news. It all starts right here, right now, on Afternoons. And good afternoon, everyone. It's a big day here on America's number 3 most watched financial news network, LALATE. As a lifetime stimulus, your raise of your benefits are actually going to go up higher. Why? Because of the last few days, the gasoline in the United States has surged higher. Plus, we have massive stimulus checks for you to get in this recording, and new checks, which we didn't even have last week, bringing us to now 300 checks and $300,000. Your economy, your recession, your inflation, all detailed in today's recording, plus your benefit raises, the housing market crash, the unemployment, and your forced stimulus. The breaking news all starts right now on a big, bold Afternoons of Afternoons LA. How are you? It's great to see you back with me, and I'm excited for you because we got big money and we got big problems. And we don't have big bacon, but other than that, we are all good. And if you watch me on Instagram live over the weekend, we also have apparently big boots at the beach. So let's get to the breaking news. The breaking news right now is that the U.S. economy, however bad we had projected it to be, it's there. All this year, I had shown that graphic, which I led the video with, that September would be a financial cliff. A financial cliff basically means you're walking along singing your song and suddenly, oops, you fall off a cliff because you did not see this coming, but you knew it was coming because I had been telling you it was coming. I told you to watch your feet underneath your cowboy boots at the beach. So here's what's going on. The Federal Reserve has really established that financial cliff, and Americans who are not prepared for it are falling off. Housing market crash, stock market crash, auto industry crash, and inflation going higher, recession not going away. And all that tees up the response. Can you give me a forced stimulus check? Can you give me a forced stimulus check? You said that back in March, and you were so smart. You said in March of 2022, LALATE, can you find me a forced stimulus check? Because you are the only broadcaster then in March who's saying we're going to have a recession. Let's understand what we have today. Today, for stimulus, we now have 14 categories of 300 checks that yield $300,000. And today, I have an additional checks for you. Plus, I have great additional money for you that is likely going to happen because gasoline has gone higher once again. And this is big news for your lifetime of stimulus. Let's go over all the incredible details starting right now. Let's start first with the importance of getting this money, and it is the economy. The Federal Reserve has the task of stabilizing inflation, hasn't gotten it done. And that probable inflation was predicted by me last year, and the Federal Reserve at the time had it wrong. From the shores of Santa Monica, California, in spring of 2021, I said that the Federal Reserve in New York had this wrong. The Federal Reserve, led by Jay Powell, was saying in spring of 2021 that inflation was going to come in higher, about a 2 or 3%, temporary or transitory, and then come back down. I said, no. I'm projecting from the shores of Santa Monica, California, that it's going to go to 8% by December 2021. It did. And that it's not going to be temporary or transitory. It was not. And that it's going to go and it's going to stay there for a while. It has. And what happened thereafter? By January, February of 2022, Jay Powell never admitted he had made an error, but started to raise interest rates to battle the situation. To battle inflation, raising interest rates, does it make sense? Does it have a logical sequence to it? It does not. At the time, I said it was not going to work, raising interest rates to battle inflation. Why? Because the inflation caused in the U.S. economy at the time was caused by supply chain disruption, which is basically problems with shippers and truckers and people on barges and pilots of planes. You're not able to get the product from the farm to you cheap enough and fast enough, and that because of it, the milk arriving is not $2 a gallon, it's $3 a gallon. The eggs not arriving are $2 a dozen, they're $4 a dozen because the truck drivers charging you more money. This is called supply chain disruption. And raising interest rates for money in the bank has nothing to do with a truck driver on the highway. I said it was not going to work. By July, it had not worked. And July, that CPI-W came in at 8.7%. Imagine. All those interest rate spikes of 2022, none had worked. Then, August, the CPI-W came in at 8.9. It was going higher. And this teed up the month of July. I think the month of July was really one of those months this channel, really everyone came together as a great Purple Power family and realized we got to get in tight, folks, as a family here because there's a big problem outside of our family. The problem outside the Purple Power family was the following. You and I all were hearing the Fed governor saying, inflation's at 8%. I got to get it to 2%. It's going to take a while. And we got to raise interest rates until we get to 2%. And you and I were sitting around saying, hey, well, this is going to take a while. This is going to take us into next year. And that you got to get ready for that. Wall Street at the same time, not part of the Purple Power family, was saying they're going to stop those interest rate spikes in October of 2022, next month. We said, what are you talking about? Meantime, you and I are all talking about getting as much stimulus as possible, raising your savings in the bank account, removing the debt, and then not buying stocks, not buying real estate, not buying cars, because the market was about to really sink as soon as that financial cliff hits in September. Outside the Purple Power family, and was saying buy stocks, buy bonds, buy cars, buy real estate. And we said, no, it's going to set you up for trouble. Plus, we were trying to get as much stimulus as we could. And at the time, I had 3 stimulus checks for you in March. Then I found for you more checks after those first 3 checks, A, B, and C, which we'll go over in just a second. I found more checks for you thereafter. And those incredible checks thereafter were the incredible E through K, then I found you N through O, and P and Q. We'll have those checks in just a second, bringing us to 300 checks and $300,000. And what did Wall Street at the time say? Buy, buy, buy. Buy stocks, buy stocks. Come on, buy, buy, buy. I said to them, buy, 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 sort of like waving the check and get lost. Who are these people? And these are people who are smart people on primetime TV with big shows and big salaries and big broadcasting booths and big mistakes. And then it happened. On September 21, the Federal Reserve convened for their September FOMC meeting. You and I knew that they were going to do a 75 basis point increase. I had said that since the month of June. Wall Street initially said 50, and then they finally came around and said 75. They said 75. But the Federal Reserve said more than that. They said that they still see supply chain disruption and demand imbalances and elevated inflation caused by food and energy prices. These were their quotes. And that they saw inflation will not reach a target of 2% until 2024. 2024, at that point, everyone on Wall Street that was basically losing their hair already went bald. They went bald because suddenly they had thought that the Federal Reserve was going to be done with this in 20 days by the month of October. And then the Federal Reserve said, no, we're not going to be done this until 2 years from now, 2024. Immediately, I told you, get ready. Do you hear that? Do you hear that? I heard that. Do you hear that? That's a stimulus stampede. That's the stimulus stampede. And it's going to sound like 2 feet, one guy on a set. Soon it's going to sound like a fleet of football players running in because it's going to get dicey and spicy very quickly. Dicey and spicy, new expression on the channel. Dicey and spicy very quickly. People are going to be looking for inflation stimulus, recession stimulus. People are going to be on the cusp of losing their homes. People are going to be on the cusp of losing their jobs. People are going to be on the cusp of losing their cars. Because why? The rates are going through the roof. If you have a home and the rate is adjustable, you're not going to be able to afford it suddenly. If you have a car loan and the rate is adjustable, which of course it is, I don't know of any car loans where the rate is fixed, you're going to lose the car if you can't afford the adjustable rate. And if you have a job in, let's say, a big box retailer that is not particularly doing quite well at the moment, they're really not going to do well in the next year. They're going to close the stores and lay people off and go potentially bankrupt and lay you off. And there won't be another job because the labor market falls apart later in recession. All those people are going to be looking for a stimulus check. And they're not part of the Purple Power family. They're people who are going to show up to the party later in the equation, and it may be too late for them. I'm so excited that you are part of my family. I'm so excited that you are part of our family. I'm so excited that you're here. Why? You're head of the stampede. You're head of the stampede and you're getting those big stimulus checks. So let's go over those incredible stimulus checks right now, and then we'll go back more into what's going on with this economy. These incredible stimulus checks are for the federal government. The federal government is called the U.S. government, the White House, the Congress, the Senate, those people in Washington, D.C. The federal government is not your city. It's not your county. It's not your state. The federal government mailed you a first stimulus check, second stimulus check, third stimulus check. Came from Treasury, U.S. Department of Treasury. It's a beige check in a white envelope or beige envelope. They're the federal government. They have the big money. Your state doesn't have big money. Your county doesn't have much money, and your city has almost no money. This is from the federal government. So do not be looking to your city, county, or state for any money unless I teach you so in this recording. This is from the federal government. It's massive stimulus. And they've always had a massive amount of money because our government is very well off. Let's go over this incredible sums of money, and let's go over everything you need to know about these stimulus items, starting right now. The first 3 checks were passed by the President of the United States by executive action in the month of March. Huge, huge. I call them A, B, and C. Let's stop that video for just a second. Well, let me just jump over this graphic. At the time, the members said to me in March, LALATE, you're saying there's a recession? I don't hear anyone else saying there was a recession. There's got to be a recession. There wasn't. I'm always ahead of the ball game. And my predictions, I got to tell you, I'm not tooting my horn, but I've been right All my predictions on this channel for financial news have always been right and 6 to 8 months ahead of time correct. In February, when I said there's a recession coming for 2 years starting in 2023, viewers immediately said, go get me a check in March. Go get me a check right now. And I did. Not one, 3 checks, A, B, and C, about $100,000 from the president. You love executive action, don't you love it? Passed by the president, huge checks. And they are great. You qualify. Same eligibility as we've always talked about on this channel. Same eligibility. You qualify. We'll go over more about that in a second. Then Congress came around and Congress passed a bill. And that became law. More checks thereafter, E through K. Huge checks from Congress, again, the federal government. Thereafter, I found more checks for the Purple Power, because that's my dedication. What were those more checks for members? All detailed on this channel, the Purple Power. They are L and M, N and O, P and Q, all in the membership newsletter. You're not going to see these anywhere else because no one else cares about you. No one else cares to tell you to save your money. No one else cares to tell you not to buy stocks. Everyone was telling people to buy stocks in June, July. They didn't care about those people, and they got it wrong, and they should be ashamed of themselves. I care about you. L through Q now joins A through K, all in the membership newsletter. Go get them. And the breaking news today is that you haven't heard this letter on this channel for a while, but Check D is back on, baby, because states are now sending, yes, you hear me right, I said the word state. States are now sending a nominal, not a lot, but a little bit of money in a brand new Check D. Those Check Ds are being featured in the membership newsletter starting around this coming Monday. The graphic says 2,000 plus. No, this round is a little bit less. So this round, the Check Ds are about $1,000. Those Check Ds are just absolutely incredible. So recession, 2 years, inflation, 2 more years. What do you need? Tens of thousands of dollars. You need tens of thousands of dollars because this is 2 years. This is 24 months. How much are your bills per month? Your bills per month for 24 months, yeah, you need tens of thousands of dollars. That's why you need this channel. That's why you need this Purple Power community. I have for you 300 checks that yield $300,000 approximately. That's what you need. The state checks, great. If you get them, great. But it's a couple $100. It's going to pay the bills for, for the end of the week. It's going to pay the bills, to lunchtime. Then you're going to run out of that $300. Yeah, it's just not a lot of money. So I don't want you to focus on something that's not a lot of money. You need tens of thousands of dollars because there's big problems with this big economy. And let's go over these incredible checks right now. Check A is a $6,500 to $12,000 four stimulus check in every U.S. state. It's incredible. How do you get this wonderful Check A? You become a member, then you go down the membership newsletter where it says Check A and you apply. Pretty simple, isn't it? Yeah, the concept of a membership newsletter is I put it all together for you. And I didn't know when I started the membership newsletter that we were going to grow to 300 checks. Obviously, you need a newsletter for that because it's too many for someone to record and so too many for you to just listen and keep track of. Check A, first in the membership newsletter. Go get it. Then we have Check B. Before I go to Check B, Check A was gotten by Spelling. Congratulations, Spelling. Great job. He got Check A. He also got some Check C we're getting to in a second. Then Check B. Again, these were the first 3 checks done by Executive Action Joseph Biden. $15,000 to $80,000, 4 stimulus check in every USA. Go get it. Again, how do you get it? You become a member. Have you become a member? Are you still a member? Are you renewing your membership? Are you making your membership current? Make sure you do because you cannot miss these checks. Make sure you do because there's a financial cliff underway. Make sure you do because the economy is getting worse. You need to get the money ahead of time, not after the fact. $15,000 to $80,000, go get those incredible sums of money across the board. Then we have had big success stories for Check B. Mark got $66,000 for Check B. Here is Frank Mancuso. He got a lot. Look at this. He writes, I got Check B. 18 months of mortgage, 18 months of utilities, 18 months of high speed, internet, in Florida. We had another viewer out of Florida who got nearly $100,000 from check B because she got 80 plus checks. We're not done there yet. What's the next check after B? Obviously, the letter C. That incredible letter C is huge. And that check C is for rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, and more. And those incredible check C's have been on this channel since December 2020, in the thick of the pandemic, when there was literally no money. In December 2020, when there was literally no money, I found you somebody for check C. Then it got bigger under third stimulus. And this is the leftover third stimulus. One thing I want to make very clear today, I say it every day, but I want to make it even more clear today, is that check C, which is for rent, utilities, mortgages, and more, in the membership newsletter, has 12 places to reach out to them. 12 places for check C. What does that mean? You reach out to 12 places. It is 12 places. How many do you reach out to? 12. How many do you reach out to? 12. Why am I saying that 12 times? No, I'm not going to say it 12 times. Why do you reach out to the 12 places to get the... Because now and then there's someone who says, I reached out to one place, and I called it a day, and I call it quits. You reached out to one place, and I had got 12 places for you? Is this a punk question? Is this a trick question? I got 12 places for you to reach out to, and you reached out to one. What are you doing? The most common example is someone who wants to jump on the live chat, says, I love you to death. I watch it since day one, and I reached out to the city, and they don't have money. So there's no check C in my city. That's one. That's not 12. The number 12 doesn't look like the number 1. I mean, the number 1 is in the number 12 because it's 1 and then a 2, but that's not 12 places. Where are you? Every time I see these type of comments, I think it's a trick. I think it's someone like trying to trick me. Like, are you watching me, LA? Yeah, I watched you and you wrote 1 and I got 12. So where's the other 11? Other 11? Yeah, there's 12 in there. Those are the first 3 checks. And yes, let's recap. Check A is 1 check. Check B is 80 checks. There are 80 checks in check B. Check B is a category. But you saw what happened for check B. Check B is on average 80 checks. Why? Because most viewers for check B are getting their utilities, which is about 4 bills per month. Yeah, 4 utility bills per month, plus either their rent or the mortgage. That's 5 bills per month check B's paid for. And they're getting it on average for about 18 months. 18 months times 5. That's a lot of darn checks. It is a lot of checks. Check B is not 1 check. It is 80 to 100 checks because it's about 5 checks per month over 18 months. Yeah. Check C, same thing. Check C is all your utility bills per month, which is about 4 bills, plus your rent and mortgage. So that's about 5 bills per month, and it's averaging about 18 months. So it's 18 times 5 is about 80 checks in check C. But it's not just you calling up one place for 80 possible checks. I have 12 places to call up for those 80 checks. Yeah, there's a lot of opportunity for money in that membership newsletter. Massive stimulus across the board. Those are just the first 3 checks, A, B, and C. Are you excited? I am. I'm very, very excited. Now, along the way, Congress came and did more checks. And those became E through K. Congress, which is the federal government, they're not the city, they're not the county. They live in Washington, D.C., which is the federal government. You know that building with the nice white paint on it? The federal government, they pass checks E through K. And E through K are just absolutely huge. What is E through K? What are E through K? I'm going to go over them after the commercial break. Where are they in the membership newsletter? Where is E in the membership newsletter? After C. But before P. This stuff is sort of obvious, but there's always a question. Where is E through K? E through K is after the letter blah. Excuse me? After the letter blah. What? No. E through K is after the letter C. I mean, it's sort of obvious. Now, for the first time on this channel in a long time, I have brand new check D, which is the rarity of all these checks. Check D, yes, is before E and after C. Check D is D for donut, and D for don't have to do much, and D for don't talk to me about your state because it's from your state. Check D is from your state. States are now sending out about $1,000 stimulus checks. About $1,000 stimulus checks. The eligibility is the same. You don't have to do anything. All you have to do is have filed a tax return. Then L through Q are also brand new stimuluses. L through Q are coming up after the commercial break. I got everything for you. I got money for cars. I got money for appliances, like refrigerators, like washer dryers. I got money for a laptop, money for a computer, money for a tablet, money for free internet, money for closing costs, money for down payments. I got money for behind a planter flower number one. Yeah, I just feel like this is The Price is Right sometimes. I literally got something for everything. And it's all coming up after the commercial break. Now, you want to get that membership signed up and you want to be current. Why? Because you heard that stimulus stampede. It's around the corner. And they're going to come in and they're going to be saying, I can't afford this. I can't afford that. And you're going to be saying, well, I've been a Purple Hawk all this year. I've kept my membership current, and I've been getting stockpiling all these checks, and I got the money, and I'm ready to pounce as a Purple Hawk. I'm prepared because LA prepared me. Let me tell you what you need to be prepared for if you just found this channel and you need to get caught up. In spring of last year, I said inflation was going to come in at 8% by December 2021 and not go away. I'm projecting that 8% inflation is not going to go away at all this year. We may end the year, maybe at a 7 or a 6. Remember earlier this year, I said maybe we get a 4, but it doesn't look like we're even getting to 4% inflation by the end of the year. That means that all those milk and egg prices out of control are going to stay around in the supermarket. Number 2, the recession. The heart of the recession is not going to really be impacted and felt until early next year, about January. Number 3, labor market's going to fall apart. The job market's going to fall apart. The business environment, like the profitability of the big box retail you may be working for, it's going to fall apart. Housing market's going to fall apart. Auto market's going to fall apart. And with all those things falling apart, you need this. The LALATE worksheets. Free if you're a member, in the membership newsletter around the third line. It's a page you want to print out to keep track of all the incredible things that are happening. And it's one of the greatest benefits of becoming a member in addition to all those incredible stimulus checks. Page 1 of the worksheets. You can print out from your computer or download it to your phone and open it up and look at it and take notes on a separate piece of paper. Inflation. So that inflation currently is tracking at about an 8.9 CPI-W. The CPI is about the same as well. And that inflation, according to Jay Powell, is going to stay that way and not get to a target of 2% until 2024. A recession is currently underway, but that recession is really going to be hurt and felt starting next year. Jeremy Seeger for the Wharton School of Business came in before the weekend, says it's going to be a very deep, dark recession. It is going to be a very deep, dark recession. I got to tell you, I don't want to scare you because this channel is all about positivity. But what's going to happen next year and the year after is really going to be horrible. Horrible. And so I want you to be prepared right now. You have some fun in your life. You go out with the grandkids. You go to the park with the dog. You have some fun right now. But please prepare yourself. Please prepare yourself. And that involves becoming a member, getting all the stimulus, and knowing where this economy is, and not disappearing for weeks at a time and showing up and say, what I miss? Oh, what'd you miss? The economy, tanked overnight. What does that impact me? Yeah, it impacts you. But I may not repeat it 2 weeks later. So labor, number 3 on the first page of this worksheet. Labor falls apart late in the recession. We're only having about 214,000 jobless claims right now, which is improved down from that 260 early this year, but it's going to get worse by the end of the year. And the Federal Reserve, 75 basis point increases for the rest of this year is my prediction. I believe I'm going to get it right. I said 75 into the middle of next year. Well, we do know now that they confirmed that as well, but they also indicate they're doing interest rate spikes into 2024. That would likely be either 50 or 75 as well. The next page of the worksheet is a page to keep track of all your incredible stimulus. Now, even though there is 14 categories of stimulus checks, there's literally 300 checks that I have for you on this channel. And this page to print out doesn't have 300 rows, because at the time I made it, we only had 3 checks that yielded, 20, 30 rows of checks. There's 300 checks, and you need to keep track of where and when you apply for it. Longtime viewer Dragon, triple member to all 3 channels, LA1, LA2, and LA3, and volunteer. She is at 170,000 she's gotten from this channel, up from 140 because she got another 30,000. But you know that 30,000 that came in last week? It's not like she applied for it and it showed up the next day. She had to look at her notes and said, oh, she actually keeps binders. She keeps lots of pages of notes. So you want to really note-take this. You want to have you want to have a little place on the dining room table. Just keep notes. Just keep pieces of paper and keep track of, I apply for this, I apply for that. Your benefits, and then gasoline. Well, let's go over that right now. Your benefits are going up a lot, but they're likely to be going up even more. We had always talked about $5,000 for lifetime for the raise of your benefits, and then even more, tens of thousands of dollars over your generation with this lifetime of benefits happening. But there's a new wrinkle to it. And what is it? The new wrinkle signals that it could be more money on top of that. I'll go over more about that, plus we'll go into all these incredible checks where we left off at check E. We're going to go over all those incredible checks from E to Q in the big second half. Big money, and we're just getting started. From the shores of Santa Monica, California, I'll see you back in 60 seconds as all the breaking news continues on Afternoons. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues right now in the big second half on the shores of Santa Monica, California. Hope you're having a beautiful day. It is gorgeous here along the coast, and it would be more gorgeous if you got massive stimulus checks. I'm going to go over all those incredible checks for the Purple Power starting right now. The next checks after C are E through K, and these were passed by Congress about 5 weeks ago, and they're absolutely incredible. E through K, all in the membership newsletter. You want to get those incredible checks, 7 categories, and lots of different checks. Let's go over those 7 categories of checks, E through K, that the Purple Power is getting, all for members. Remember how you get these incredible checks? You go into the video, become a member, join this channel, and get that newsletter, start pouncing. Check E, $7,500. Beautiful. Check F, $4,000. Check G, 30% off. Check H, $2,000 towards a brand new appliance. Incredible, like a washer, dryer, or refrigerator. Just a huge. Check I, $8,000. Check J, $8,000. This is all your money to keep. Just incredible. Grant money. K, $14,000. Absolutely incredible. Those were check E through K, passed by Congress, about 7 categories, about 5 weeks ago. But we don't stop there yet, and every week I found you new checks, and they are L and M. L is $100,000 on average of loan interest-free money, and M is $4,000 of grant money for you to keep. This is for purchase of a brand new home. Then, one of the best checks I've ever had, best stimuluses I've ever had, is Stimulus N, like Nancy. Would you like a brand new computer? Would you like a brand new laptop? Would you like a brand new tablet? I got it for you. It's Stimulus N. It's all free for you. Also free internet, and it's just incredible. Why would you not do this? And this is the incredible Stimulus N. Then we go to Stimulus O, which is 0 down payment, 0 closing costs, 0 mortgage products, 0 insurance, and 0 credit check for a new home. Just huge. And then we go to P and Q. P and Q are big. Q is $8,000 of free money, grant money for you to keep. And then P is about 3% down to refi existing home. We got something for everything. I mean, this is just really wonderful. So you see in there an enormous amount of stimulus when you go all the way from A to Q. And stimulus for so many different matters. What do you do? What are you supposed to do? First, you go into this video, subscribe. You're watching the number 3 most watched financial news channel in America, LALATE. Now with 3 broadcasting channels, make sure you subscribe to all 3 channels, LALATE 1, LALATE 2, and LALATE 3. All 3 channels are going to ramp up in programming in the next few weeks. Then you go onto this video, any of the videos, whether it's LALATE 1, LALATE 2, or LALATE 3, and become a member. You can join any of the channels because all 3 channels deliver you, as a member, the membership newsletter for Purple Hawks, Purple Powers, and Calcino VIPs, Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And then when you get that incredible newsletter as a Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Calcino VIP, you pounce and get those incredible checks. Welcome to the hundreds of new members. Welcome to the upgrade members who upgrade from Purple Hawk to Purple Power. Welcome to the new Calcino VIPs. You go right in and go down till you see those incredible checks and apply. And you do that application right away. You do not wait. Now, on top of that stimulus, we have other stimulus. And that stimulus is a lifetime stimulus. Your benefits are going to be going up an enormous amount. And that lifetime stimulus is basically being teed up because of the news that we got from the Federal Reserve. The news from the Federal Reserve is that supply chain disruption is not improving. Inflation is going to be around a while. That was what they told us first. We learned that at the end of last week. But what did the Federal Reserve not tell you, but what did I tell you that came out of nowhere? Let's pull up the graphic. Here it is, gasoline. Gasoline out of nowhere, starting around Tuesday, after it had been falling, AAA national average, 10 to 40 cents a day since about June, falling. Suddenly on Tuesday, it didn't fall. It was flat. And I looked at it and I wondered why it was flat. You know why? Because it was about to go back up. Starting on Tuesday, the price of gasoline in the United States, AAA national average, started to go up. And it has been going up. A lot. Daily. This is big news for you and your benefits. Why? Because this was the only component of inflation that was actually tracking down when everything else was tracking higher. CPI, PPI, retail sales all lower all tracking higher. But the only part of those components that was falling lower was gasoline. Now gasoline's going up. So that means big news for that lifetime of stimulus. Let's go over what we're talking about. Your benefits are going up a lot if you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, and veterans benefits. How much? About $5,000. Some of you more, and some of you tens of thousands of dollars over your generation. But to determine how much your benefits are going to go up, we were looking at the data, and then suddenly the data changed this week. What happened? Your benefits are tied to something called COLA, cost of living adjustment. And that COLA is determined by three numbers, the CPI-W in the month of July, in the month of August, and the month of September. CPI-W, month of July, here we go, 8.7. In the month of August, 8.9. And the month of September, well, we're living it right now. Everyone and their sister and brother was basically saying the same thing I was saying, about 8.9 we were predicting for this month of September. But hold up. All of a sudden, one of those items that was going down started to go up. That means that the headline number could go up higher. That number is gasoline. Gasoline by the middle of the week started to go higher. And so 8.9 may actually be lower than it actually is. My prediction right now is about 8.95 if gasoline continues to track higher all this last few days of the month of September. And we potentially could go to a 9.0 if gasoline surged even higher than that. This is big news for your benefits. Why? Because that is the third and final month that determines how much your benefits are going up. So what do you think is going to happen? Do you believe, jump in the live chat right now, do you believe that CPI-W for the month of September will be what? Write your number, comma your state. Remember, July was 8.7, month of August was 8.9, and I had said 8.9 for the September, but now I'm saying 8.95. And we'll see what happens with gasoline over these final days of September, but if it continues to go higher, I'll be saying a 9.0, comma California. Write your thought in the live chat. Now, based upon those numbers, what would your benefits go up? The Seniors League originally had said 10, then they said 8.9, 8.7. I'm keeping it about 11%, but we got a lot to see. And one of the things that's important to remember is that whatever was eaten up for your check, benefits check, by Medicare Plan B, if that's you, is no longer going to be the case. A few months ago, Congress passed a bill that eliminated that massive Medicare Plan B bill you got last year. It's gone this year and for the rest of your lifetime. So you no longer see Medicare Plan B eat up your benefits check. To determine where that number is this month, we were basically looking at the impact of milk and eggs and rent and similar nationwide. Let's do it right now. Jump in the live chat. Get ready to post your thoughts and comments on these subject matters. We're going to go item and then up or down, comma your state, one at a time. Let's do a warm-up. The first three ones we know because these are easy. Rent, up, comma, the United States. There's no rent going down in the United States, so that's an easy one. The next one, salaries, comma, up, comma, the United States. It's not going down anywhere in the United States. And finally, medical bills, up, comma, United States. This is an easy one. So now let's do some of the core numbers. Let's have some fun. Butter, up, comma, California. I don't see butter going down. I don't see it going down whatsoever. How about you? Jump in the live chat. What's going on where you live? Let's go over to eggs, comma, up, comma, California. Eggs keep on going up across the board here. Now, milk, down. Milk, comma, down, comma, California. Milk is starting to come down a little bit, so that's a little bit interesting across the board. Then groceries, the total grocery bill, I'm saying groceries, comma, up, comma, California. They're not going down. Airline fares are expected to go higher. Electricity is expected to go higher. New car sales are expected to still go up, but that will change later this year, but not yet. And used car sales going up. Those are all components of the CPI-W. So it's looking really good. And that is why everything is really lining up. 300 checks, about $300,000. A lifetime of stimulus that'll give you massive stimulus. And ultimately, what do you got to do? Go on to this video, subscribe. Tell your friends and family, come on over. This is a channel to watch. I predicted this all months ahead of time. I'm predicting next year right now. What am I predicting for the rest of this year and what I'm predicting for next year that you need to know? One, I'm predicting the 30-year mortgage in the United States, which is now 6%, will go to 7%. It was 3% early this year. Number two, I'm predicting the 2-year Treasury note, which was 2 weeks ago at 3.7. I predicted it was going to go to 4. I'm predicting it's going to go to 4.5 very quickly. Number three, I'm predicting the housing market crash to be more pronounced. Existing home sales, down. New home starts down. Builder confidence down. Inventory on the market up 5 days is going to grow. Prices being cut. It has grown from 19% of sellers having to cut the price to 25%. I'm predicting it to go up to 30%. And then the average price of the home in the United States, it is now 19% of them are lower than the average price in 2021 and 40% under the price of 2019. I'm predicting it to be even worse than that as the weeks go on. This is why I have to get that Force the Most check. Join me tonight on Evenings LA when we have big shows and big news. We got big broadcasts. The brand new show is at 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock Central. Did I say that right? No, I did not. 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, 7 o'clock Central. And I look forward to seeing you on that show. Then we have Countdown at 6, Stream Cinemas at 7, 8 o'clock is Extra, 9 o'clock is Sunset. You need to get all this money. You need to get it right now. The situation is going to change very quickly. You cannot miss a video, and you cannot miss a stimulus. That money is available for you right now. Do everything that I teach you on this channel. Don't do a version of it. Get every check. When there's 300 checks, you get them. When there's 12 check C's, you make 12 calls. You don't reach out to one. You get all these incredible sums of money, and you become part of this incredible family. I love you to death, and keep on doing the greatness that you're doing. We'll get through this together as an incredible family. The news continues throughout the night and throughout tomorrow as well. From the shores of Santa Monica, California, stay informed, stay focused, and stay with LA for more.